So students, we have studied till now about our classification of industries, and now we are going to do about agro-based industries. So let's talk about agro-based industries here. Uh, Agro-based industries, as already we have studied, we are on page number 65 of NCERT book page. Agro-based industries are those which get their raw material from agriculture sector. So what type of industries are coming in it? Like cotton, silk, woolen, textiles, sugar, edible oil, etc. So industries are based on agricultural raw materials. So these are agro-based industries. So we are going to study about these agro-based industries only. Among these industries, we'll study that what is the procedure actually uh, to produce cloth. Okay, it passes through various stages of production. So let's talk about these agro-based industries only, how this cloth is produced. Okay, so to produce cloth, several stages of productions are needed for it. Number one is, first of all, this raw fiber, maybe we can take cotton, is taken from the agriculture sector, and this raw fiber is then taken to the spinning machines, where this raw fiber is after ginning, it is taken to the process of spinning. In spinning, the thread is manufactured. This thread is wrapped around one wooden block, and that whole bundle is called as yarn, right? So this yarn is produced in the second stage of production. After producing yarn, I have also spoken one process here, ginning. So ginning, before spinning, just this ginning is done. Ginning means here there are different there are machines which are called as gins. Okay, so this gin or ginning machine is that which separates all the seeds from the cotton fiber, and this fiber is then cleaned up to be used for spinning and to produce thread, okay, or to manufacture yarn. After this, in the third stage of production, this yarn is taken to the weaving weaving machines, where the cloth is manufactured, okay, and in this weaving, once the cloth is manufactured, in the fourth stage of production, the cloth is taken to the dyeing industries and finishing it. Okay, so after coloring, the cloth is then taken to the process of finishing. After finishing, it is brought to the garments factory, where different type of t-shirts, shirts, or any type of these casual dress or formal dress are stitched. So in this manner, you get this garment from the shop directly. So this manufacturing of this garment is taking about 4 to 5 stages, okay, to be processed and converted into fabric or garment directly, say. Then we'll move on to the textile industry. You will see here, in this textile industry, you will see here that this is the big industry where India is also a big manufacturer of textile, and it is manufacturing and exporting to other countries of the world. So this industry is very much important in our country, and therefore it is also very important for our economy, because it brings up a lot of wealth for the country, and our industrial production is growing because of this textile industry. So when our industrial production is growing, then unemployment problem for India is also solved. Directly speaking, more number of people are getting employment in this industry, and when we are exporting this textile products to other countries of the world, we are getting good earnings in foreign exchange also, because whenever we are exporting our textile to other countries, then what happens is that they used to pay us in their own currency, which is the value of which is more higher than our country's currency. So we used to accept it, keep it with us as a reserve, and then use it whenever we purchase goods from them. Okay, we have to pay them in their own currency. So therefore, we keep a foreign exchange with us as a reserve. It is only industry in the country which is self-reliant and complete in the value chain. So you can see here, textile industry is the one which is self-reliant. It is totally dependent upon itself, because all the production of the raw material is done within the country. With this, the finished product is also manufactured within the country. So this type of industry is called to be as a complete in value chain. That is, from the raw material to the highest value added product is manufactured here within the country. Then in this textile industry only we come to the cotton textile industry. So let's talk about it. I'll read it from this page number 66 in your NCERT book. In ancient India, cotton textile were produced with hand spinning and handloom weaving techniques. So if we'll move on to our ancient India, if we'll look at the technique of production in the ancient India, then we find that the this fabric was actually produced before by hand spinning. Okay, as you may be knowing that Gandhiji also, Mahatma Gandhi also used to hand spin the thread. Okay, that is with the help of charkha. So this hand spinning was done, and then fabric was made with handloom machines, where the machine was operated by a particular human being. Okay, with his own hands and using his both legs. So this machine was operated. This was handloom. But in the 18th century, this power loom came up, which was the machine which was run by this electricity. Okay, our traditional industries suffered a setback during the colonial period. So if we talk about the colonial period, when British people were here in India, at this time our traditional industries had to suffer a great setback. The reason behind was that all the mill-made cloth was coming into India from England. Okay, and our handmade fabric or cloth was not to be sold in our Indian market. Reason was that the consumers were not ready to purchase it because it was expensive, and whereas from England this mill cloth was coming at lesser prices. Yeah. So this was a particular type of strategy of the British people, that they used to take the raw material like cotton and jute at lesser prices to their own country, and the raw material was taken to their own country at lower prices, but the finished good of, that is the mill cloth, was sold in India at higher prices. So this was a complete drain of Indian wealth. In early years, if you see, one more thing is there, one mark question, very important. The first successful textile mill was established in Mumbai in the year 1854. So if the question comes, when and where was the first successful textile mill was established in India? So you will have to write the answer, Mumbai, 1854. After this, the two world wars were fought in Europe. India was a British colony, and there was a demand for cloth in UK. So during the two world wars, that is the First World War and the Second World War, during this time period in Europe, these two world wars took place, and in both these two world wars, India was a British colony. So colony means the market. Okay, we were the market of British, where they used to sell their finished goods into India at higher prices and used to take the raw material at lower prices. And during this time period, a lot of demand was coming to United Kingdom, where British people came from. Okay, they gave a boost to the development of the cotton textile industry. So this demand which was coming to United Kingdom more and more from other countries also. This has increased the production of cotton textile industry in United Kingdom, and because of this only they started making new colonies in different countries of the world, uh, and to increase the production, okay, of cotton cloth in rest part of the world, producing all the finished good, that is cotton cloth within the country, fulfilling the demand of the people within their own country, and producing much more higher, which was going to be sold to other countries of the world, which were their colonies. And this industry, if you'll see in the early years, the cotton textile industry was concentrated in the cotton growing belt. So if you'll see in India, if we talk about the production of cotton, then we'll see that more number of cotton textile industry is concentrated uh, in the cotton growing belt, where black soil is present, which is very good to grow cotton there, and this black soil is present in this delta region, uh, and here more number of industries were concentrated, cotton textile industry, uh, in Maharashtra and Gujarat. Okay, so the reason was why, if the question will come to you that what were the reasons that the cotton textile industry was more concentrated in Maharashtra and Gujarat only. So reasons were because of availability of raw material, because cotton was grown there only, it was a cotton growing belt. So as I told you before also, ideal location of an industry uh, depends on the same factors which we have talked before also. Availability of raw material, the market should be nearby, close, labor availability, skilled labor, all these things. So same thing is coming here also, that availability of raw cotton was there in Maharashtra and Gujarat, therefore more number of industries, cotton textile industry were concentrated here, and market was also available because Maharashtra and Gujarat, the market was available there only. These are the developed regions of our country, and transport facilities were also available. With this, port facilities were also available. Okay, Mumbai port is the biggest port in India, from where through the sea route, the different type of product, or you can say industrial products, are transported, okay, to other countries. So port facilities were also available, and labor is also available because the cities, developed cities, are there in Maharashtra and Gujarat, and because of this, good skilled labor is available, and with this, because of the moist climate, which is good for growing cotton. So this industry has close links with agriculture and provides a living to farmers, cotton. So you can see so many people are connected to this cotton textile industry, because it involves so many different stages of production, as we have seen just now. I have told you in the beginning that to produce fabric, it passes through various stages of production. So many people get work. Okay, like for example, the people who are earning from this cotton textile industry are the farmers who grow cotton, are the cotton ball pluckers, used to plug the cotton balls from the cotton plants, and workers engaged in, and so many workers are there who are engaged in ginning. As I told you, cotton gin is a particular machine which separates the seeds from the cotton fiber. So the first process to clean the cotton fiber is this only. And apart from this, after ginning, after cleaning the cotton fiber, it is taken to the spinning machines, where the thread is manufactured, yarn is produced, and after that, weaving process starts. After weaving, the cloth is manufactured. Then after that, dyeing is done, coloring, and with this, designing, packaging, tailoring, sewing. All these people who are engaged in all these work are getting good earnings, okay, because of this cotton textile industry. It passes through so many various stages of production, and that is why so many people are involved, or earning a good amount of money from it. After this, if you see here, the industry by creating demand supports many other industries. So, so many industries are connected to this cotton textile industry, like that of chemical and dyes, packaging materials, engineering works, all these. And directly speaking, so many people are getting work from this cotton textile industry. Now, after this, while spinning continues to be centralized in Maharashtra, Gujarat, and Tamil Nadu, weaving is highly decentralized to provide scope for incorporating trading skills and designs of weaving in cotton, silk, zari, embroidery, etc. So, as we can see here, according to this paragraph, India is exporting a lot of yarn to other countries of the world. Okay, there is a reason behind it. That why we are not using this yarn, cotton yarn, by our cotton textile mills in India. Why they do not use? Because our cotton yarn is of high quality and it is expensive also. So our cotton textile mills do not want to increase their cost of raw material, which will reduce their earnings. So therefore, this cotton yarn is not used by our own cotton mills. They even import the cotton yarn from other countries, which is much cheaper, okay, just to increase their earnings. But on the other hand, therefore, only one good thing is there, that instead of when our own cotton mills are not purchasing it, so it is good to export it to other countries of the world, this cotton yarn. And therefore, so many spinning mills are there in India. So a lot of spinning takes place in Maharashtra, Gujarat, Tamil Nadu, all these three states. Lot of spinning is done, okay, and this all yarn is being exported to other countries of the world. So if you'll see here that as spinning is centralized, because mostly these spinning mills are there in Tamil Nadu and Gujarat and Maharashtra, but this weaving, the weaving sector is actually decentralized, means it is being divided into various parts of the country. Weaving sector, because somewhere the place is famous for making zari, or maybe making or maybe making embroidery products, okay, or silk. So many type of different weaving styles or techniques are used by different parts of our country. So therefore, this weaving sector is decentralized, whereas on the centralized part we will see spinning mills are concentrated in the states of Maharashtra, Gujarat, and Tamil Nadu. Then the hand spun khadi, if you read more, India has world class production in spinning, but weaving supplies low quality of fabric as it cannot use much of high quality yarn produced in the country, as I have already told you just now. Weaving is done by handloom, power loom, and in mills. So weaving in our country is done by handloom also. As I told you that handlooms are those machines which are run by or operated by a human being with his own hand and using his own hand and legs. But on the other hand, power loom is a weaving machine which is running on electric current. And in mills also this production is done. The hand spun khadi provides large scale employment to weavers. So if you see here that in our country, in the rural India, if you will see that our agriculture sector is already overcrowded, isn't it? That a lot of population of our country, more than 60% of the population of our country are employed in agriculture sector where they are not required. So therefore, a lot of disguised unemployment conditions takes place in our agriculture sector. So to diversify their work in the rural India, most of the rural India people are engaged in this weaving sector, okay, and they are earning money from that. So our government also wants that this weaving sector should be also spread on to these rural areas where they can get good earnings from weaving. So this is hand spun khadi provides large scale employment to weavers also in in the rural India. After this, if you see that India is exporting yarn to Japan, so many different countries of the world. You can see here Japan, and yarn is exported to Japan, and other type of importers which are importing cotton goods. Importing means we are exporting to them. These cotton goods are USA, okay, United Kingdom, Russia, France, East European countries, Nepal, Singapore, Sri Lanka, and African countries. You can see so many different countries of the world. So we have a large share in the world trade of cotton yarn. Our spinning mills are competitive at the global level and capable of using all the fibers we produce. So in our world trade of cotton yarn production, we are covering a lot of countries of the world, and we are also very competitive at the global level, especially in the cotton yarn. Especially in the cotton yarn. At the global level, we are very competitive, and all that fiber we produce is being exported to other countries of the world. The weaving, knitting, and processing units cannot use much of high quality yarn. So this I have already told you. Our weaving, that is cotton mills, are unable to use our high quality cotton, which is expensive, and therefore if cost of raw material is high, then the earnings of the profits of the companies will go down. So therefore our own cotton mills are not purchasing our own cotton yarn produced within the country. So these are some large and modern, some of the modern big factories are there in this cotton mill only, that which are using this high quality yarn, okay, but not at a much higher percentage, okay. So this mismatch is a major, so this is a type of drawback for our country only, because if we would have been totally producing all the fabric from our own cotton yarn, then it would be very good for our economic wealth or economic development of our country, but it is not done because this problem is going on, and because of this, this is the challenge which our cotton textile mill is facing today. Apart from this, if you will see that there are also other type of challenges which cotton textile industry used to face. Although we have made significant increase in the production of good quality staple cotton, the need to import is still felt. You can see here, staple cotton is still being that is produced within the country, our India only, but still the production is so large that still we need that some cotton should also be imported from other countries. So this much is the high demand in our country. So the problems that our cotton industry faces is the power supply is erratic, it is not continuous. Machines are of old technology, okay. These machines should be upgraded, okay, in our weaving sector only. And other problems are low output of labor. The labor productivity is also low in our cotton mills, and because of this also our cotton mills, our cotton production is suffering a drawback. And a very stiff competition is also to be faced by the synthetic fiber industry, because synthetic fiber is much more cheaper as compared to cotton fiber or cotton fabrics, right? So it is giving stiff competition. These are the challenges of cotton textile industry faced in India, okay.